Hello, everybody. It is Tiffy T, the Resell Queen. I am going live right now to do a quick review on A&E's new show called Extreme Unboxing. Let me just tell you about my day. So, those of you who know me and have been following me, you know that I live in the path of the hurricane. So I wasn't 100% sure that I was even going to be able to watch the show because actually this morning our electricity went out. So I wasn't sure I was even going to this was even going to happen. But in the middle of the afternoon, the electricity came back on and everything was right as rain. Yay. So let's talk a little bit about what A&E is doing. So what was good, before I even get started on the new show, it looked like for most of the day, A&E was playing all the Storage Wars shows. And then they went to this new show that was premiering tonight along with Extreme Unboxing called What Is It Worth? And the host is Jeff Foxworthy. So the show was done virtually, and basically it was going into the homes of different people and seeing how much different things that they had were worth, things that they either amassed or something that they bought that they thought had some value. A couple things that were quite notable. A person had a statue of the angel Gabriel, and it turned out that to be like a prize for like close to, I believe, $20,000. There was also an original Donkey Kong game. Those of you who may not be as old as I am have no idea about arcades, but there was a time when you didn't play video games in your house. And you had to go to an arcade, which is normally at a mall or a strip mall, and you had to bring a whole bunch of quarters with you so you can play the game. I know back in the olden times it was so hard. But that Donkey Kong game was a prize for $4,500. And the guy, I think he said he bought it for like $700 on like Craigslist, something like that. So that was actually a pretty good show, especially if you are someone who aspires to know like how these things work. Watching shows like that, or like an antique roadshow type show, is a good way to hone your skills. I'm gonna be honest, I can't automatically look at certain things and know that it has some value. This is something that I can say that my husband is really good on, because he likes things that are called oddities, which is a nice word for saying weird things. But he definitely knows when he sees something that, oh yeah, people are really into that. And it's not, I don't know if it's really because he's into it. It's just something that he knows that people buy and have an interest in. So that's just something to kind of think about if you are, trying to stay in this game, because it's nice to know a value of something without having to look it up, because sometimes you may not have an easy way to look it up, especially if it's something that's obscure, that you don't see every day. So that was a nice little show, and it was a nice lead-in show to go to the Extreme Unboxing. So, all right. So let's talk about the Extreme Unboxing show. They actually played 2 episodes tonight, so that's why I kind of waited to go live after both shows. I'm just going to talk about them both. All right. So this is part of my thought process when it comes to these type of shows. Like I said, Storage Wars was playing before, probably all day, before these shows came on. The thing about the Storage Wars franchise, when it first started, it got a lot of people interested in going to storage auctions. A lot of people had no idea what they were doing. and it's been a while since like the first shows came out, and I don't believe there was a big presence online of people explaining how to actually do this resale game. So, I know people that have done it and didn't really make any money, or didn't understand the whole bidding process. They're bidding against themselves, not understanding. And also, that game kind of changed during the middle of the run of the show, because I can tell you where I happen to be, a lot of the storages, they do auctions online. You're not going there. They take pictures or videos, and you bid online. It's not a trip of, here we go on Saturday, because that's normally when they are. Well, at least where I happen to be, that's normally when they are, and everyone shows up. So I don't think that this particular extreme unboxing show is going to bring a lot of, I don't know, it may bring some people in because, people see things and go, oh, I want to try it. But I have a feeling that if people try it without a full-on education on how that works, that's where the problem is going to be. So the concept with extreme unboxing, they take I'm saying three couples, but I probably shouldn't say couples because it's like more like business partners. So I'm going to say three groups of individuals that are doing online. I don't want to say online because not everyone knows it's not online. That is doing reselling. In the first show, they had Steve and Steph. They were from California. Then they had Bobby and Selena. They were in New York. And Chuck and Chris, and they were in Ohio. All right, so let's go back to the first group with Steve and Steph. Steve and Steph, from the way that they spoke, they do flea market selling and yard sales, and I think they didn't say that's the only thing that they did, but I got the sense that was their focus. And with some of the things that they were buying, I could tell that was their focus, because looks like they were really into cookware and into a lot of baby stuff. This is going to be my opinion, and my husband is actually back here somewhere, and he'll probably say how he feels about things. They in the first show, they ordered, let me see how much it was. What's their name? Steve and Steph. They ordered, they purchased for $578. I think it was two pallets, I believe is what it was. And it was, they said general merchandise, but it seemed like what they were getting was baby stuff and bedroom stuff. They got stuff for strollers, high chairs, a lot of baby things that were not complete. Like it was something to add on to a thing. Like they had a thing to add on to a stroller. They had a very high-end high chair. The only problem with some of the things that they got, if online is your only selling option, it's going to be pretty tough to make your money back because you have to worry about shipping. So the fact that they do what I would consider local selling, that made more sense, because the local selling, you can sell the big items. You could put them on Facebook Marketplace. You can do things like that, and that makes a lot more sense when you're getting bigger items. Now, I can tell you for us, we kind of stay away from baby items because one thing that I've really, really learned was that baby items sometimes, after they've been on the market a while, they might have a problem with them and have a recall. And that's a whole situation. We do an inside flea market, and in the inside flea market, there's a list of things that we cannot sell because the flea market doesn't want to be liable for things, and a lot of baby items are on that list. So for me, that really wasn't something that I would do. But for their business model, it made sense. Now, they happened to pay $523 for their pallets, and according to their calculations, they were going to sell everything for $1,035. So that gave them a $512 profit off of their stuff. I mean, to make $512 in a couple weekends, along with other stuff, that's really not bad. So, I mean, that kind of worked for them. Then there was this other couple who I actually really liked what they're doing. Actually, what they're doing is something that I actually strive to, but I want to make sure that I do it right and I have the right amount of money. Their name was Bobby and Selena. They got, they got an order from B Stock, and they did some risky stuff, things that I would never do. They bought a salvage pallet through B Stock. Now, they did not say the name of the company that they were buying from, but looking at the items as they were coming in, I assumed it was Walmart because one of the boxes was a Walmart box, and it had all these crazy stickers on them, something that I can say I'm used to seeing through Walmart. Because of their resale model, is that they have a storefront. So they have a liquidation store, which is actually something that I am striving to do. I was looking to really get that done sometime this year, which I'm kind of glad I did not because of the current economic crisis, what's going on with COVID and all that type of stuff. I would have had to shut down my store as soon as I opened if that was something that I actually did. So I decided not to do that this year. It's still coming though. A couple of things. They got like kitchen stuff. It's like kitchen things, a Sunbeam bread maker. Now, I did have a problem with some of the values that they were giving to things. I am going to probably take into the fact that they are in New York, and costs there is completely different than where I happen to live. So I'm going to kind of keep that in mind. They even got water in one of their orders, which I thought was kind of funny because
it turned out to be death fluid, which is definitely something.
No, that was different.
I thought it was the same jugs.
No, it was different. Okay. You interrupted me. See, my husband interrupted me. Yeah. Well, they did get a diesel exhaust fluid or something like that, and then they had some water jugs, and then they had like these what do you call those chairs, like these what do you call them, they're like the chairs where they're not wheelchairs, they're like the walkers on wheels that people use. It also has a seat. Yeah, what my husband said. Wheelability assist chairs. They had two of them. One was a little more jazzed up than the other one. The jazzed up one, they said they would sell for $100. That wouldn't work where I live. And the other one, I think they said 45 or 50. I would say those are anywhere between $20 to $30, but that's the market where I live. But they happen to be in New York, so it's a little bit different in their situation. One cautionary tale with their situation is going to definitely be the wood lathe that they got. That's a tool that I believe, shaves the wood. It spins it. Yeah, it spins wood and it shaves it down. Well, it didn't work. At least they tested it out. There was a part that was missing to it. Now, when that happens, first of all, you're buying salvage. Okay, that was what they did. They were buying salvage, so you kind of really have to expect that things are going to all be together.
It's salvage for a reason.
It's exactly it's that for a reason. In fact, I was quite surprised at how much usable things that were sellable in the current condition that they had out of their palette. They had like a Sunbeam bread maker. I think they had a couple of them, but sealed nicely. I would have opened them up and tried to use one and make sure all the parts were there, but that's me. And anytime you get anything that is salvage, you just assume there's something wrong with it. At least that's what I do. So they paid for theirs. Let me get here, Bobby and Selena. Let me get their stuff. $523. Yeah, they paid $523 for theirs. Oh, I think I said that wrong for the other group. Oh, the other couple. The other couple was $578, and they were going to do $1,615, and they end up with $1,037. This Bobby and Selena, they paid $523. And keep in mind, this price that I'm giving you, this is the price of the pallet and the price of shipping. So most of them, the shipping was like $200. So normally I'm thinking that it's not being shipped that far away from them if it's only $200. They said they're going to list it for $1,035 and make $512 as their profit. So the last group that they had was two guys named Chuck and Chris. Now, these two obviously got more money to play with than other people. And the reason why I say that is because these people are gambling thousands of dollars. They were on the show twice. They were on this first episode and they were on the second episode. So I'm just going to talk about the first episode this time. And then I'm going to talk later about the second episode. Because they obviously have some money to gamble with. Because they bought 3 pallets worth of toys for $2,295. And these are toys returns. So in my opinion, they paid a little too much. But if they had a good amount of quantity in there, then it maybe makes sense for them. They did get a lot of good things, I will say. They got a lot of Legos, some Legos Mindstorm, Transformer things, Marvel, Star Wars. Then they got, they had hoverboards. Now, they didn't show like how many they had unless it was just one. I can tell you our experience, we're not selling that online. That's not happening. We learned our lessons through Amazon when they put reserves on people's accounts for doing things like that because of all the issues that people were having with hoverboards. So Chris and Chuck, they talked a little bit about their backstory. The one guy used to work for Toys R Us, and another guy, he had like a 6-figure job. And they kind of came together and they have a warehouse and they get their orders in that way. My assumption is that they do mostly online selling. They didn't talk about any other way of doing it. So that's my assumption that that's how they're doing it. They obviously have more money to play with because to pay over $2,000 for 3 pallets, in my opinion, I'm not doing that. I'd rather hold on to that money and add another $2,000 or $3,000 to it and get either a truckload or half a truckload because that was a lot of money. Now, this time the gamble was worth it for them. They spent $2,295. And per their calculations, $3,900 is what they were going to make off of the items, which gave them a profit of $1,605. Because they gambled that high, that explains a lot. That explains a lot because of their gamble. They did have a lot of toys. A lot of toys were in their pallets, so the quantity must have been great for them. So, a couple takeaways from the first episode. I noticed, I don't want to say this and sound snarky, but I kind of felt like I was watching a whole bunch of YouTube videos about reselling and not really educating people, just the joys of it. I actually don't watch a lot of YouTube videos about reselling. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, but they have nothing to do with online reselling. The reason why I actually started this is because I felt that there wasn't a true education being done to explain certain things, because people think, oh, I go online, I'll buy this pallet, get it ordered, yada, 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 and I'll make money. Well, there's a lot more to it than that. And that kind of brings me into the second episode that came on. So the second episode, the couples that they had Chuck and Chris again. That's with the two guys that are in business together. They had Steve and Steph. They were a couple from California. And then this episode introduced, I know the lady's name is Heather. Pastor Paul and Heather. Those are the hooked on Pickens couple. Now, I actually like them. I don't know them personally or anything like that, but I can't say I follow them because I don't really follow a lot of other online resellers that are on YouTube. I may converse with some, but I don't study other people's videos and things like that. Actually, I really don't have the time, to be quite honest. But I am familiar with who they are. I don't know them, but they just seem like really nice people. Probably because I am a pastor's kid, and so I feel like they reselling for the Lord. But I thought they were a really cute couple. They were from Illinois. Now, to me, they had some cautionary tales going on. So we're going to talk about them in a minute. So Chuck and Chris in the second episode bought 2 pallets, and it was luggage and sports recreation. Okay. This is what happens when you don't do a lot of inspecting on the manifest. So whoever bought these 2 pallets for about $3,500 for 2 pallets. Whew, that's a lot of money for just 2 pallets. They really only bought them because there were some left-handed bows that were labeled on the manifest. Well, this is the problem when you're dealing with manifest. When you get like a UPC on a manifest, sometimes you gotta check those suckers because they bought it off of the strength of those hunting bows. And it turns out that these hunting bows were mislabeled sunglasses. Yeah, sunglasses. Now, these particular hunting bows that they said they were under the assumption that they could make close to $7,000 just off of the hunting bows alone, which is probably the reason why they felt comfortable spending $3,500. But they didn't see the full manifest. Okay. I don't know who they bought from. I will say this. If they bought from bulk, I know you could probably call them and talk to them and say, look, y'all got to work something out. If they got it from B stock, lesson learned, and it cost you $3,500, literally. So I don't know where they bought it from. They didn't always say where they bought things from, and that's another thing in this business too. With them being on a nationally syndicated show on TV, some of these places they buy from may not want that to be advertised, or they could have bought it from liquidation.com, which means you're buying from other people. So they were a very good cautionary tale. I'm glad to see that in the second show, not because I want people to lose money, but I want people to learn that you need to investigate these manifests at times. Especially, it's one thing if you're buying a truckload and you spent $5,000, let's say $5,000 to $10,000, okay, on a truckload. You're looking at anywhere between 12 to 24 pallets. If something gets mislabeled that you really wanted, that you thought you could make a good amount of money, you have other things in the pallet that can make up for that normally. When you only buy 2 pallets, ain't much making up for that. They had a whole bunch of sports bags, duffel bags, air bids, which don't even get me started on air bids, on how we don't like to sell them. And they had the nerve to think they were going to sell them for $55. And like these $5 dollar store cooler bags that they thought they were going to get someone to pay $10 for, maybe with free shipping. But cautionary tale with Chuck and Chris. So with Chuck and Chris, they spent $3,500 on 2 pallets. And after adding everything up, what they're going to be able to list everything for is $2,329. So they're at a loss of over $1,100. I'm not happy to see someone lose money, but I think it's good to show it so that people understand you can lose money in this business, and explain to people what you need to do. You gotta look at that manifest, okay? All right, so the next couple was Steve and Steph. They were from the first show. They were in California. They did a very good job. They bought a pallet for $790, and it was with cookware and exercising stuff. Turns out for them, they do yard sales and flea markets. So for Steve and Steph on this unboxing show, they obviously know their niche. They stay in the cookware because that's what they sell. It's nothing wrong with that. If you know your niche, that's great. Now, the one thing that happened to them that I thought was really neat was there was like this extra box that came with their shipment, and it said something on it that it was a lawnmower. Well, when they opened it up, it turned out to be a Pilates Pro chair. Those things go about $200-300. So that right there was the bulk of your money. And then they ended up getting a couple Instant Pots. They had a Dyson vacuum cleaner, a couple cookware sets. They got like these lighted Christmas trees, which I'm kind of reminiscing about, because our Christmas tree that we use came from a load, and it's pre-lit. You just stick it in, and you pull down the branches, and woof, you got your Christmas tree. Quick and easy. That's how I like it. Then they had like this stand-up mirror set that opened and had a jewelry holders on it. Turned out it was a little broken, so that was something that just needed a little tender loving care, and they would be able to repair that and fix it up and make their money back. Like I said, they spent $790. From everything that they got, they felt they could list everything for $1,900, so they made $1,100 off of their $790. They did a very good job. And then so last is Pastor Paul and Heather from Illinois. I really like this couple. Now they took a really big gamble. I don't know where they bought their pallet from. They got uninspected returns, and they paid $575 for the amount of stuff they got. That wasn't a bad price for that to be the price of the pallet and shipping. It had a lot of men's apparel. men's suits, shoes, had a luggage set, bed frames, DVD player, headphones. Now it had something, it had a bidet in it, which I was like odd, but it turned out the box was previously opened, but it looked like everything was intact. So they were going to be able to sell that new, not never used. So that's a couple $100 right there. You kind of get your shipping back just off of that one item. But they also have a cautionary tale as well. Now keep in mind, like I said, they did uninspected returns. So you could open up a box could say Nikes, and then when you open it up, it could be Ikes, because they're returns. These are things that people do. So they had a Cuisinart, I don't know, it wasn't a food processor. What was it? A coffee grinder or something like that?
Grinder.
Yeah, it's like a coffee grinder. And it looked brand new, like it was never used. They started to open it up, which was smart because that's what you should do. And they found out that a top piece of it was completely cracked. Now, thankfully, with this couple, you got a little bit of education. Heather explained that she could find a replacement part for it, spend about $20, and they still were going to make over $100 on it. Now, just a quick tip. Sometimes you can contact a manufacturer and say, I just purchased this particular item, and this piece was broken, and sometimes they will replace the item for free for you. Sometimes you don't have to pay money. It's all in your approach. So we'll do a video on that one day. So all in all, they probably, did they do the best? Pastor Heather? Well, not the highest, but they did pretty good. They spent $575. Everything off of their pallet, they felt they were going to list for $1,304, which makes them $729. That's not bad. Not bad at all. My overall review of the show, like I said earlier, it did feel a little bit like I was just watching YouTube videos. Some of the videos, you could tell that they were hand-holding the device themselves. I don't know when this was made. I don't know if these shows were filmed pre-COVID, which I can pre-COVID or after COVID, because you could tell that some of the things they were doing, they were definitely holding up the camera. I don't know if that was intentional, because they obviously the producers obviously decided to go after people that were already YouTube stars, or in the that had a following. So I don't know if they decided to kind of keep that same feel, which I get it, because they probably feel like it works. It just it felt very YouTube-ish to me with the format. I kind of wish there was a little bit more education, because when a person says, "Oh, I bought uninspected returns," I understand what that means. Or they say, "I bought salvage," I understand what that means. They give a little bit of education, but it really wasn't a lot. I think it was more of just the whole unboxing, which I know is a big deal on YouTube. So my unboxing videos do well if I do them. I don't really do them that much, because I don't have time to set everything up to go ahead and unbox a video and unbox a box for everyone. We have too many boxes around here to get to. All in all, I'll still follow it for the season and see how it goes. I'll give a review after every show, and you guys let me know how you feel about it below. All right, guys, this has been great. My review of the new A&E Extreme Unboxing Show. if you would like to be part of my mailing list, feel free to click on the link below in the description box. I don't send a lot of emails. I just kind of use it as a way to keep things up, keep everybody up to date with things that are going on in the online selling world. Want to hit me up, have any questions, feel free to send me a message. Everyone does. I do respond. May not respond quickly, but I do respond. Don't forget my free ebook, What the Hell Do I Sell on eBay? It's still free. Just click on that link and you can download that. All right, you guys, it's been real.